What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our round 3 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Wells Fargo. Craig, if Saturday's moving day, Friday kind of felt like move back day a little bit. I mean, we got Wallace and Woodland had good rounds out there. A lot of these guys on the leaderboard had good rounds, but a lot of guys fell back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people definitely had good rounds that went out early. It was a lot harder to find a good round if you went out there in the afternoon. But yeah, I think it, elephant in the room, Rory McIlroy worked his way into contention in a golf tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed you were going to bring him up on last show because every other show you do, and I was surprised. That's why I went Bryson, but
I had decent exposure to him today. Unfortunately, it was matched with Justin Sa, who did not do so well. But
I think I had two or three of them, and he made up for some of my Varner and other mistakes. So definitely like seeing Rory go low, and I think in prime position to improve through the weekend.
So, I mean, from a Showdown DFS point of view, he's a bit of a conundrum tomorrow. What do you, spoiler alert, he's not in our picks here, but I want to say he's 8,700 he's priced.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, did you not see that? So, I mean, it's a very attractive play. The ownership is going to be crazy. So just off the top of your head, what do you think you will do with that?
If I'm building one lineup, I probably won't, just because I feel like I need to be different. If I'm building, 2 or 3, I'll have him in at least one, because that's a crazy price for Rory. How about you?
I might just hammer it. The problem is, obviously, you are it depends on what it gets to. Like, that's the thing. If it's going to be over 40%, 50%, then it starts to become like impossible to get any value out of that. Or like it might work out, obviously, but it doesn't seem like it should be a good play. But you get so many chances to play Rory at 8,700 in a course where he's dominated on a day where he just was hitting the ball so well.
I was going to say Rory 8,700 off a round where I think he led the field in strokes and tee to green, coming into a windy day, a guy from Northern Ireland that's won twice a year. Like, it seems to be like, okay, what's wrong here besides ownership?
Yeah. So I likely will hammer it just because I'm a Rory fan, and I feel like this is the best price we'll see. If he has any sort of half decent weekend, we're not going to get a good. He's not going to be cheap anymore come PGA Championship time at a course that he has won at. So this is going to be essentially the chance to get him cheap.
He was the most interesting man in the field in our preview. I'm just saying he was,
and it has come out that well.
It definitely has. I think the other side of this leaderboard is quite interesting, Craig. We got a lot of kind of veterans, a lot of guys playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stuart Sink, that whole side seems threatening to me. Anyone jumping out there?
Well, some of them might be my picks, so I'll reserve judgment. But I almost picked Patrick Reed, but he was doing it with smoke and mirrors. He had a hot putter. I think it was on Thursday, and
that's right.
His ball striking has not been great, which was sort of the problem coming into the week. So, Patrick Reed, though, he's such an enigma where his short game's so good and can get so hot that he doesn't always need to have great ball striking.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. I think there's just going to be more movement. I think with that, if you're ready to move on, let's take a look, kind of peek at tomorrow, and it kind of looked like before. I mean, 12 hours ago that the morning was going to have the advantage again, but now I think it's just safe to say it's just going to be a windy day. Is that kind of what you're looking at, or are you trying to?
It's going to be a gusty day. Like
that's
8 to 12, 13 miles an hour isn't. It's not super windy, but then we're looking at 20 to 28 mile per hour gusts. It does look like the gusts are going to be harsher in the morning. So I think there's potentially going to be gusts that people will have to battle, and there's potentially going to be wind, but I'm not favoring late or early.
Yeah. Okay, so round 1, just under 1 stroke average over par. Round 2, we got to 1.94. Pretty brutal out there. Like you said, it was in the afternoon. Our picks were plus pick 6, 7. They were all in the morning, so that definitely helped. Your picks helped out a lot of mine. Sink and Wallace definitely helped out, cover a few of my mistakes. But the things to improve on. But I think the interesting stat that we don't have listed here, we did just tweet it. The PM AM stack compared to the AM PM stack was 2 full strokes better. And that's definitely something we talked about Wednesday. I mean, I think I put 4 of those stacks in of 20. I think you did as well, or close to that number.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm still at the 5% 6 of 6 rate because
Yeah.
even with my ROM YOLO, I did get one of my ROM free lineups through. Unfortunately, Zalatoris missing hurt a few of those ones as well. But what, 1 6 of 6, we'll see what can happen.
Let's just take 30 seconds. Do you think if that putt on 17 dropped for Rom, 18 would have been a lot different? Because he would have just needed to par 18.
I mean, his first putt on 18 was very aggressive. I think he would have been able to two-putt that if he had made the par. Now, that said, I mean, the approach shot, I think he probably would have found a par on 18.
I think so too. I think that putt on 17, it just kind of blows my mind. Right after, and I don't know if this is, if we saw this on coverage, I was listening to radio, EVR missed a 7-footer on 17 to miss the weekend as well.
Yeah, but I mean, that green is brutal. Like they have to, if they're smart, they're playing it off to the right side, and then that putt down there, like you don't see all those people leaving themselves 6-foot putts when they're on the putting green, unless it's a very, very hard leg putt, So it was the short one that he missed that thing just has to drop. You need to make that 6-footer or whatever it was.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of what happened Friday. Should we jump into our picks for Saturday?
Yeah, let's do it.
If it's your first time, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, Craig. Let's find some good plays for Saturday. I'm kind of going a little bit more conservative, trying to find some win players, trying to find some guys that don't make a lot of mistakes. That's what I'm for. I got some good discounts, I think, too. So my first one is Xander Schauffele, 9,800 on DraftKings. He's gone 72-71. He's +1. He's on that first page of DraftKings. When you click on there, he's probably 4th or 5th priced, right around there. So I don't think he'll get a lot of ownership because he is +1. So he's 8 birdies, 9 bogeys. Way too many bogeys for this tournament right now. Absolutely stands out, but I feel like he can improve. So kind of how's he gotten there? Great approach play, 3.67, which is 8th in the field. Very middling off the tee and around the green, but then pretty awful putting, 68th, which was pretty equal both days. It's like 0.8 and 0.9 negative both days. So both days were pretty bad. He's missing like 6-7 footers that are leading to bogeys that he absolutely shouldn't or hasn't in the past. So looking at, I mean, that's kind of the glaring what's going wrong right now. Going back to his last 40 rounds, he's a great putter. I think on the year, he's averaging, 0.8 positive. His last 40 rounds, he's been positive in 32 of his last 40 rounds strokes in putting. I think we would more likely to see it go into the positive on Saturday and into Sunday. But unless he's kind of has a Patrick Cantlay trend that we haven't seen, then that could be possible. But I feel more like he's going to turn around pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good putter. The one that I find a little bit disconcerting is the negative off the tee, just because he usually is so consistent and does gain off the tee fairly. He just shows up to tournaments and you give him a half stroke a day off the tee, basically. But yeah, no, I think Xander's a good play. I think his ownership will be low.
Kind of a U.S. Open. I mean, he plays really well at U.S. Opens. This is kind of what I'm putting his course at. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I think Xander's always a good play for long, difficult courses.
Yeah.
My first one here. So, you said you were going with guys that don't make mistakes. I guess my showdown trend today.
Theme? Okay.
Yeah, how on Price is Right, some of them would have theme like the showcase showdown. This showdown showcase is the theme of this showdown showcase is I'm looking at people who have good form coming into the week, and then their ball striking has been positive off the tee both days and on approach both days. So all three of my guys, that's what we're looking at. Narrowed it down here. We've got Abraham Ancer, 9,000. He's gone 69.70. He's -3, 8 birdies, 5 bogeys. He has gained strokes in 11 straight rounds, and in those rounds, he's averaged 2.5 strokes. So that's pretty good. And then if you look at his last 19 rounds, he's gained strokes off the tee in 17 of those. He's gaining 0.82 off the tee, and he's doing it with accuracy. Like he's just finding tons of fairways. So I expect that to continue. You know, like he's gained a stroke around off the tee, and a stroke and a half around on approach. He's top 20 in both on the week. He, you know, for being -3, he's been good putting, but it's not like it's been great. He's lost strokes around the green, but his ball striking's been good. So assuming we get more of that, I think he has a chance to go out there and put up a good special round if his short game is good. So yeah, I like Abe Ancer. I think the other thing about it, he comes in at 9,000. We're gonna have Reed and Rory McIlroy as the two guys right below him. So I think that will suck a lot of ownership down towards him. So I think maybe we're gonna get a lot, even though he is -3. I think we might get it shouldn't attract the ownership that normally someone at -3 there would.
Of his name and caliber.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, one of my picks last week, got a solo 5th. I went off him because I kind of bought into the narrative. At his price for the tournament, I don't think he's long enough to really contend, but now I'm completely regretting that. So when I regret that, I usually try to make it up in Showdown, and that's kind of exactly that. So yeah, someone I'm going to have a hard look at for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, my second one here, I'm going Carlos Ortiz, 7,500. He went 70, 68. He's 4 under, 9 birdies, 5 bogeys, and he did that in the opposite wave, in the harder wave. So I think that's definitely something to note. His 4 under kind of looks like the other guys' 6 unders, you know, when you put those 2 strokes in. How has he done it? Very consistent.
Unfortunately, they don't let them put those strokes in.
They don't. Yeah, it's just like, oh, you're out of luck. Positive +2 putting, 25th. Positive around the green, positive on approach. I would like to see that a little bit higher, but that's kind of what he was one of my sleepers. That's kind of what we talked about with the sleepers. His approach play hasn't been great, and then pretty good off the tee. So very, very balanced. And then when you look at bogey average on the PGA Tour for the entire season, going back, you know, the 2020, 2021 wraparound season, this is just your average amount of bogeys per round. He's in the top 20, like low 2s, I think, per round that he averages. I think it's just kind of that complete game that gets him there. Too cheap for someone that's 7,500, essentially with how he's played, right up there with the pack. Probably going to be higher own guy, but to me, it just screams value.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was one of your sleepers coming into the week. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, so I think 75, like for where he's at, the problem is going to be ownership, I would say, with Ortiz at -4. I think he'll stand out for a lot of people as a play down here. But I mean, you can't always count on where ownership is going to go. I think 75 is still a good price for him. So I like that. It's just the ownership is the question mark. You know, I had, 4 straight missed cuts coming into the tournament, and I had reservations about it. But, you know, you were saying bet on talent, and I think essentially that's still the case. Is if you kind of believe that Ortiz is the talent, it is a course that should fit him. So I like it. Yeah. My next one here, I'm going. You know, if you're looking at safe plays over there, this one's maybe a little bit different. Bubba Watson, 7,600. He's gone 70, 69, -3, 5 birdies. 4 bogeys. I don't think that's right. I think I'll have to check on that one.
I got you.
He has, so, you know, like Ancer, he has gained off the tee and on approach both days. He's gained strokes in 9 of his last 10 rounds coming in, or at this point, and he's averaging 1.7 strokes gained over that time. That's not even counting for the fact that he was tied for 9th. So I have his last 4 starts here. He was tied for 9th, tied for 26th, tied for 8th, and tied for 13th. The 9th was at the match play, and the 8th was at the, what do you call it? The Zurich.
Okay, yeah.
So those aren't accounted for in there, but essentially he's been playing really good golf of recent. You know, you can say that those are different events and it doesn't get okay, yeah, but still, if you're getting your way into the top 10 of PGA tournaments, no matter the format, you're playing good golf. So you know, he's gaining a stroke and a half putting. I'm not super worried. It's not like he's got a super hot putter. I think he's playing well. Maybe will attract a bit of ownership at -3, but I think it's a good fit for the course. He should be. He's gained over his career. It's mostly early on. He hasn't played here as much of recent, but he's gaining over a stroke around at the course. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of a sneaky time to get in there with a Bubba play.
Yeah, so you had that right, Craig. You just missed one eagle, so that's what
Oh,
gets
okay,
him to
gotcha.
-3 there. So there's one eagle, 5 birdies, 4 bogeys. Yeah, I mean, kind of like Ancer, a guy I thought long and hard about because of the form coming in, and then ultimately you have to make cuts and you didn't make it. The one reservation I would do before plug and playing Bubba Watson tomorrow is doing a little bit of research of him in gusty conditions. Not something that I have top of mind, so I would just do a little search to kind of see how he has played through different windy conditions or coastal conditions, that kind of thing, because pretty high ball with a lot of curve that could
Yeah.
carry or
Yeah.
hold into it.
And the thing with Bubba is like I would say it's never a safe play, but for
Yeah.
Showdown, you're looking for things that can potentially win you a slate. So I would say that he has that upside.
From high apex and upside to the lowest apex possible,
I was
my
gonna say
third
and
pick,
low upside.
Russell Knox, 6,800. Kind of an absurd price if you once I explain it, I think a little bit. He's gone 70, 71, one under, an eagle, 4 birdies, 5 bogeys. Great. He's leading the entire tournament through 2 days in strokes gained tee to green. He is number one tee to green. He's losing 3.2 strokes putting, and that rank is obviously for guys making cut. That's a brutal
That's the worst,
rank.
probably.
Yeah. So he's lost a stroke and a half per day putting. Absolutely brutal. 2.71 around the green, 3.14 or 3.41 on approach, positive off the tee. And just like Ortiz, he's in the top 20 on PGA Tour in bogey avoidance. So looking at his ball striking, very well rounded. He hasn't been putting well, but he hasn't been putting that bad. I mean, he's not a hot putter or a great putter on the PGA Tour by any means, but he's not -1.5 per round bad.
Mhm.
So I just think he's one of those names that always pops up first when you think of win players. How's Russell Knox playing? Take a look, 6,800, a guy that's leading the field in strokes gained tee to green. He doesn't have to do a lot at 6,800, but it opens up so many opportunities in the rest of your lineup, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I would be a little bit concerned with someone who has gained 2.7 around the green, but it's not like like his putting's so bad that essentially he's still losing strokes with his short game. So it's not like he's just kind of hold a lot of shots to get to this point. His ball striking's in a good place, so you have to like that. Yeah, no, I mean, he's a classic win player, Russell Knox. So
Yeah. I mean, even with how we're thinking tomorrow might play, if he goes out and gets 3 birdies and 2 bogeys at 6,800, he could still, be in a great lineup.
Yeah, I would rather he have 4 birdies and a
Yeah,
birdie streak and no bogeys and a bogey free round, but
me too. But at 6,800, I'm just
you're just managing expectations.
I really like the play, but I need to manage expectations a little bit.
This is like back in university when Adam would be like, "Oh, like that test was really hard. I don't know if I did that well." You did fine.
No matter how I felt the exam went, the test was really hard.
Yeah.
I have low expectations.
Low expectations, yeah. Okay, my last one here, Charl Schwartzel, 6,900. He was one of my sleeper picks coming in, and I like him for a lot of the same reasons. He's gone 71, 71, even par on the tournament. 2 eagles, 4 birdies, 8 bogeys. So, like these other guys, he's gained strokes in 9 of his last 10 rounds. He's averaging 1.2 strokes gained in that time. Also did well. That does not include the Zurich Classic, where he was tied for second, or not tied for second. He lost in the playoff to be second with Louis Oosthuizen. So, another good showing there. And then, so, strokes gained down at the bottom, he's top 22 in both ball striking stats. Love that. His putting hasn't been good. Outside of Russell Knox, he's maybe the worst one of the people who made the cut with his putter so far this week. But the thing that I brought up before the tournament that I kind of want to come back to, tied for 18th at the Farmers, a long, difficult course, and then the 2 Masters, in the fall and then in the spring here, he's tied for 25th and tied for 26th. So I think he is someone who, he performs better at these longer, difficult courses. So, counting on that, if you want to look at that at a into a single round, 6,900 seems like a good price for someone like that. And then last thing, the other one I brought up, at the start of the week, he was tied for 9th the last time they played it here. So right. He does have a good record here. I think Charl at 6,900, I think there's a little bit of value there.
I thought when you were saying, the one thing I wanted to bring up again that I brought up in the sleeper show was his age. He's
Oh, yeah.
guys talk about his age. Yeah, he's only 36 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Charl, I didn't really have much thought of him. I mean, I liked him in the Zurich, but I plugged him in a couple lineups and he's in my remaining 6 of 6. So I got a Charl stake.
So fingers crossed.
So fingers crossed. That might mean I might not go there in Showdown because I don't need double heartbreak if he ends up 76 in the field after Saturday.
You're worried about your blood pressure a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on gray hair management right now, and I don't know if double exposure to Charl will help much. It'll make me look like I'm 40 plus very quickly.
Yeah. Well, you and Charl both, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's our 6 picks for Saturday. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Yep. Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys. See you next time.